Hello everyone. In this video I want to discuss why we find it so fascinating that non-duality is a thing. Why we're so mind-boggled by the concept of God, the concept of reality, the concept of all of us being unified in infinite eternity without separation, without boundaries. The reason is because we are limited. Meaning because we are limited, because we are in a body, we also have a heart to function in a capsule or some kind of flesh in one perspective. That leads us into valuing the notion of boundlessness because we are bounded. What I'm trying to get at is, yes, infinity is indescribable. Yes, you can't put it into words, you can experience it and keep talking about it because it cannot be described in words, since the human mind and words themselves are languages beneath languages, like sublayers of languages, because the words are created only because of the mouth, and the mouth is only created because of existence, and existence is only there because of concept, so on and so forth. Everything is just a sublayer of what is actually there. And so what this is supposed to convey is the idea that the reason why we feel compelled to describe this nothingness that can't be described and that is so shocking whenever we experience it, this unity of consciousness that has no beginning and no end, it's because we're coming from a first-person experience related to our own emotions. The shock value is what gives us this drive to describe it, even knowing that it's impossible. And we're all coming with more sophisticated types of ways of explaining the same thing which cannot be described. And of course, it's bound to be misunderstood, partially because everyone has a different mind that filters that experience into real time differently. But I think we can all agree that the filtration is sometimes similar, and that's the shock value, the awe, and the terror of not really existing and being a construct. And there are layers of disappearance and letting go, but we know that this boundless eternity, infinity, oneness, non-existence is not something to fear, but it's something scary to the one that says, I am afraid. In conclusion, I'm trying to drive home the point that no matter how many times you describe it, you're overcomplicating something that is tricking us into thinking we're becoming more sophisticated by describing it in more and more unique ways, which have to do with evolution, which may or may not be more targeted in terms of accuracy, and therefore perhaps you should be saying it in this way. But I find that if you get lost in this process of describing something so simple, you will cause people to have an inferiority complex regarding the purpose of life, regarding the actual thing. I don't believe it will lead to other religions per se, but I do believe that humans have a tendency to think we know it all, and that by having it in a more sophisticated summary, it will cause them to think they're superior than those who say, yeah, I've experienced that. There's nothing really to talk about. Can't really describe it. There's a unity. Meaning there's nothing wrong with simplifying it and keeping it at that. And there's also nothing wrong with putting it in a textbook or labeling it non-duality. But we always have to remind ourselves that even though it gets complicated, it's still always very simple. Have a good day.